You gotta do everything around here. Today, we're going to look at the DZOFILM CATTA ZOOM lens bundle to help you determine if it's right for you and your team. Hatfield Media is a full-service marketing agency, and we in the video department are always looking for tools and techniques to streamline the production process. We'll look at the pros, cons, and do a few lens tests to show you how these lenses perform at different focal lengths and t-stops. Make sure to stick around to the end because depending on your goals, these lenses could greatly help you or hold you back. Let's get started. The first obvious thing to note is that these are Cine lenses, designed specifically for video. With that comes a few things. Instead of measuring the aperture with f-stops, which is common for photography lenses, they use the more accurate t-stop. What's the difference? F-stops measure how much light enters the front of the lens, while t-stops measure exactly how much light makes it to the sensor, which is ultimately what matters. These lenses can open up to a t2.9, which isn't quite as wide as a prime lens, but for zoom lenses it's pretty good, and enough to have a flexible depth of field. Another plus is that these are parfocal lenses, meaning that the focus point does not change when you zoom in or out. A varifocal lens will lose its focus when you zoom in or out. So these are great if you intend to incorporate zoom shots into your project. And speaking of zooms, you'll notice this extra set of teeth in the middle of the lens. These allow you to use a remote focus pull system to accomplish remote zooms as well. If you're trying to achieve a very distinct visual style, these lenses can also accommodate a selection of front and rear filters. You have to purchase those separately, but the included case has more than enough room for that. So obviously the two lenses go here. You've got a nice selection of rods for different mounting options. You've got some shims to help precisely distance the lens from the lens mount. And you've got some nice little envelopes here with decals and other swag. You've got space for a bayonet here. And you've got a nice package of salt. Do not eat this, trust me. Okay, so we've gone through the basic features. Let's talk about practicality. Last year, several of our team members worked on a short film together. We had to shoot 10 scenes in one day and knew that was only going to be possible if we could move and change setups quickly. So we opted to shoot almost exclusively on these two lenses. With these two lenses in our kit, we had a With these two lenses in our kit, are you serious? With these two lenses in our kit, we had a focal length of 35mm up to 135mm, meaning we could minimize lens changes and lighten our gear load throughout the day. We were very pleased with the workflow, and these lenses definitely deliver on their promise of a cinema level image. But there is something we noticed after shooting a video for a client that we do think you need to be aware of, which brings us to the cons. We realized that there was a bit of distortion near the edge of the frame. At first we thought maybe it's the teleprompter glass we were shooting through, or maybe it's a lens support issue. The weight of the lens might be putting too much stress on the lens mount, resulting in a softer image. So, we purchased a lens support that helps take some of the weight off the lens mount. And we decided to do some tests. What you're about to see may disturb you. We found that at certain apertures and focal lengths, the wider lens started to lose sharpness on the edges of the frame. Anything above a T8 was fine, but anything below that, and at a focal length of less than 50mm, had noticeable fall off. We did these tests both with and without the lens support, and ironically, it didn't really help. In one case, it actually seemed to make it worse. So, our test revealed a little bit of focal softness on the edges when shooting at a wide focal length and a wide aperture. But this wasn't quite the same as the issue we had on our client's video, which didn't so much appear out of focus, but slightly smeared. If you have any thoughts or have experienced something similar, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. The focus issue with the CATTA ZOOM lens bundle is ultimately a minor one in our opinion, but if you're shooting something where objects of importance are near the edge of the frame, you'll probably want to shoot at a longer focal length or a higher t-stop. However, if you're like cinematographer Greg Fraser, there may be a project where you want the edges to be softer in order to draw the eye to the center. We didn't notice the focus issue when we were shooting a fantasy short film because, if anything, It added to the visual style. That, and we were shooting through thin fabric in order to achieve a bloom effect on the highlights, so a razor sharp image was not really our goal. So just keep in mind that with lenses like this, something that might help you in one circumstance might hinder you in another, and vice versa. We hope this review gives you a good idea of what to expect from this product. At under $5,000, this is a pretty good deal for a pair of very durable cinema lenses. If this video was helpful, or if you think we missed anything, let us know below in the comments. This is Hatfield Media. Thanks for watching.
Whoa. Is that raspberry?
It's chocolate.
Chocolate flavor. Interesting. Chocolate on chocolate.